This is ABC7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. Topping our news tonight, the Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged nearly 1,600 points today as stocks took their worst loss in 6.5 years. 2 days of steep losses have erased the market's gains from the start of this year and ended a period of record-setting calm for the stocks. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis tells us about the Dow dip.
If you look at what happened to stocks today, it was potentially going to be a bloodbath. The Dow fell at one point more than 1,500 points. That would have been one of the worst days in recent history. And today, certainly in point terms, was the worst day since the Great Recession, when the Dow fell 777 points. That was in September of 2008, when the country was still in the throes of the Great Recession. Today, if you look at what happened in the markets, the Dow fell almost 1,200 points, but on a percentage basis, it wasn't nearly as bad as it was back then. It was about 4.6% lower for the day. Still, certainly a big decline for the day, but nowhere near as bad as it was back in 2008.
And of course, it's been a nerve-wracking day for investors. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live from downtown Sarasota with some local reaction on today's downward spiral to the stock market. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, good evening. It was very tough on Wall Street today, and it did put a lot of folks on edge.
It was interesting to watch the so-called roller coaster today.
For Henry Lampy and his buddies, the stock market was what they talked about all day long on Monday. At one point, the Dow Jones was down nearly 1,600 points, finishing down 1,175 points and closing with a loss of 4.6%. Lampy, an avid investor, says he's not too surprised with what's been happening with the stock market.
I was actually expecting a correction to occur. The fundamentals were getting a little ahead of themselves, and I've lived through 3 major corrections, so when I saw what the Dow was doing and the market in general, I've been concerned about it.
This is the second session in a row where the Dow Jones has seen a significant plunge. On Friday, the Dow finished down more than 600 points. ABC7 financial expert Richard Stern tells us this is something that investors shouldn't be too concerned about.
People who are investing for the long term, this is just a blip, and frankly, it might be a great opportunity to be buying some things. Call your financial advisor and discuss it. But in terms of fear, I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think panic is appropriate.
This tremendous decline to the stock market was alarming for many folks we talked with on Main Street in Sarasota. Despite the scare, a lot of investors are remaining calm and optimistic.
I just ride it out. It doesn't bother me at all because I'm not going to do anything with the money. If I needed it right now, I'd be concerned.
And time will tell if the market does bounce back. It'll reopen tomorrow morning at 9:30. Reporting live from downtown Sarasota this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Rick. Let's take a closer look at those closing numbers. The Dow Jones Industrial closing at 24,345 points, falling more than 1,100 points by the end of the day. The Nasdaq and S&P both closing with down arrows as well. The Nasdaq closing just below 7,000 points and the S&P down more than 4% at the end of the day today. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at your first alert forecast and what you can expect tomorrow morning, Bob.
Well, Jacqueline, things are going to be okay. It looks like even better on the fog. Now, we're expecting a little bit more fog around tomorrow morning, but now that the winds have actually picked up a little bit, 11 miles an hour, and they're going to stay anywhere from 5 to 10, we're not seeing those calm conditions out there. So fog may not be as much of a factor to start things off tomorrow morning. It's still warm, though, 61 degrees at this time, and the dew point temperature at 54. The barometer continues to rise. It's at 30.23, and that is looking pretty good. Now we have that east wind. This is a forecast projection. You'll notice those winds stay anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour, up to 12 at times into Braden and Sarasota throughout the early morning. As far as that wind forecast goes, well, the winds being a little bit stronger will keep the fog delayed a little bit, and in fact, not as much. It will be patchy. I think we'll see some patchy, dense fog in areas, but right now it doesn't appear that there will be in need of an advisory at this point. More on our warm weather forecast for the rest of this work week coming up in just a few minutes. Jacqueline?
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. Sarasota police and county fire crews are clearing the scene after a car caught fire this evening. It happened north of where US 301 meets US 41. Firefighters were able to put out the flames, but the incident still caused some delays in that area. It's unclear if anyone was injured in the fire and what caused the flames. New information tonight in an ongoing homicide investigation out of Northport. Today, the Northport Police Department and Sarasota County Sheriff's Office were working with their underwater recovery force to check a body of water along Biscayne Drive. The search is in part of the investigation into the death of Trent Bartle Thomas. One arrest has been made, but Northport police believe others are involved. Police say they are not finished with their search.
Nothing was found here today of note. So we'll continue on all our different avenues that we have. Certainly this isn't the only body of water.
Police say they're still hoping to get more information on that homicide. A man is behind bars tonight after firing a gun into the air last week, putting nearby schools on lockdown. Aaron Wayne Kitts is arrested and charged with unlawful discharge of a weapon. He's also facing a felony charge of resisting an officer with violence. No one was hurt in that incident. In Sarasota, police arresting 2 people attempting to break into cars near the Publix on Wood Street in Sarasota today. The 2 suspects had dogs with them, and one of those dogs bit a Sarasota police officer. That officer is expected to be okay. The 2 people were arrested, and those dogs were taken by Sarasota County Animal Services. The Florida Department of Health in Manatee County is extending the data collection period for health concerns at Bayshore High School. Dozens of people from around the country believe they are affected by what some are calling a cancer cluster at the old Bayshore High School campus. They've suffered from things like leukemia and autoimmune diseases. After years of asking and fighting, health officials are finally looking into it. Officials began collecting patient data from Bayshore High School students, faculty, and staff on December 1st and will now extend that process through Friday, March 30th. Data collected during this study will be compared with the state's cancer registry. Results should take 6 months to be compiled and presented. Charlotte County deputies are cracking down on the illegal sale of alcohol and tobacco to minors. The sheriff's office hosting a sweep on Friday. It found most of the stores followed protocol and did not illegally sell to minors, but one location, the vape store on Murdoch Circle in Port Charlotte, sold tobacco to a minor on Friday. The sheriff's office says it hosted its sweep to decrease the illegal sale of alcohol and tobacco to minors and to also encourage employees to properly check for identification. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus a unanimous vote by the House Intelligence Committee to release a Democratic rebuttal. And a hostage situation in Miami has been cleared, while a woman held nearly a dozen people inside a restaurant for hours.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Please join us in welcoming the 2 newest additions to the Lincoln lineup, our flagship luxury sedan, the 2018 Lincoln Continental, and the totally redesigned 2018 Lincoln Navigator, featuring 450 horsepower, 10-speed transmission, and many best-in-class features. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment, every client, every time. located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Mark Zupan, part of the U.S. Paralympic rugby team. In my game, movement is everything. I get frustrated when my move is blocked, especially when that guy has no right to be there, even just for a minute. I love a challenge, but I don't like to play this game every day.
A message from the United Spinal Association.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we sit down with Superintendent Dr. Green to talk about the upcoming manatee referendum vote, plus a Circus Sarasota preview. Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
So, Bob, we had a little bit of fog this morning, but it did burn off. Can we expect the same thing for tomorrow morning?
Yeah, we were talking about at the top. It looks as though we won't see as much, it looks like. There was some patchy fog around, but it won't be as widely spread out as we saw this morning. There will be some, but it will be another nice day following that little bit of fog that we'll see tomorrow. Casey Key webcam showing just a gorgeous afternoon after that fog burned off. Again, that fog was rather thick at times, but then boy, just a spectacular sunset tonight. Look how calm conditions are on the Gulf of Mexico right there. And that's the result of a high-pressure ridge, which is built in behind that low pressure, which brought us all the rainfall on Sunday evening. And thankfully, all that rain fell, mainly after the day was over. And as far as our viewer photos go, this one was taken from Ringling by the Bay. Carol Erker getting this one. Folks just sitting out there, snapshot after snapshot of just a spectacular sunset tonight. Venice, Carl Gates getting this one as well. Represented into Fred Seeger. This is Casey Key. It's a sunset for two. That's how he labeled that, or at least I did. And a nice shot there. He said it was peaceful. Jack Waters getting this one from Tacoma. So up and down the coast, lots of sunsets. And it's becoming later and later each day, too. And that usually means that the temperatures are starting to warm up. Well, you can get a look at the satellite and radar imagery and review showing still some high clouds around. And that storm system is really well east of the state now. As high pressure is built in rapidly behind it. And that's the reason why we're going to see another gorgeous day tomorrow. 61 right now, and the dew point is at 54. We have that east wind as opposed to a north wind behind that front. And that's the reason why we warmed up today into the mid to upper 70s, even some low 80s anticipated tomorrow. Pressure really shot up there, 30-23. The high today of 77. That's well above the average of 72. Dew point temperatures now are starting to come back up, 54 now in Sarasota, but notice in the 60s and 70s to our south. And that's a little indicative of what we're going to see with low temperatures staying above average, I think, over the upcoming days. Temperatures currently 47 in Tallahassee, but 61 in Sarasota. The Gulf temperature now at 62, 60 in Arcadia, and 59 in Wauchula. Bradenton at 62 degrees. Tomorrow, we'll start off with just a little bit of patchy fog. We'll warm up under partly cloudy skies into the upper 70s. I mentioned some low 80s in places like Lakewood Ranch, Parrish, Arcadia, Wauchula. I'll see highs right around 80 degrees as a result of that easterly wind component. And there's a fast-moving snowstorm right now making its way through Iowa earlier today, causing all sorts of headaches with travelers there. It has now moved so fast now into Indiana, Ohio, and heading off in toward, looks like Pennsylvania here in the next 24 hours, and that means a lot more snow in store for them. Some snow, in fact, will come back into Indiana again on Wednesday. This is the European forecast model showing we'll see generally partly cloudy skies here through Wednesday, Thursday. Here comes the front, falls apart once again, and look for partly cloudy skies. Behind it, things don't really clear out all that much, although it will be partly cloudy both on Friday and Saturday. Sunday, there is some mention of rainfall now. We could get in some showers late Sunday as another storm system develops over the deep south and swings a weak cold front our way on Sunday night and into Monday. Now, temperatures extremely cold in Minneapolis. 11 now in Chicago, 14 in Kansas City. So that cold Arctic air is really staying to our north right now. As far as highs go, they'll be in the teens and 20s across all of the central United States, all the way over into places like Toronto and Detroit. For boaters tomorrow, looks good. Winds will be generally light throughout the afternoon at 5 knots. We'll start off today at 10 knots. Seas running right around 2 feet with a light chop out there. And the water temperature now at 62 degrees. Well, here's the 7-day forecast. As it shakes out, upper 70s to mid 70s, even some low 80s. Slight chance for a shower on Thursday. We'll see a slight increase in clouds, too, on Thursday as that front kind of washes out near us. Saturday, a mixture of sun and clouds. Still nice, though. 77 for your high. a little bit better chance, but not much, at 30% for a few scattered showers come late Sunday and into Monday. Jacqueline?
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. Washington is bracing for a battle over memos this week, while President Trump is touting the Republican memo released last week that shows abuse at the FBI. Democrats have a memo of their own, and now it's up to the White House to release it. ABC's Tara Palmieri has more from Washington.
The House Intelligence Committee voted unanimously to release a 10-page memo written by the Democrats in response to a Republican memo. The ranking Democratic leader of the committee, Adam Schiff, said Republicans were forced to vote their way.
The majority found themselves in an insupportable position when they released a misleading memo and refused to release the Democratic response. So I think they were compelled to take the action they did today.
The Republican memo claims that the Russia investigation is politically biased. It says that the FBI obtained a warrant to spy on President Trump's former campaign aide, Carter Page, based on a dossier funded by the Clinton campaign. Democrats say their rebuttal memo clarifies mischaracterizations in the Republican memo and offers context. At a tax speech in Ohio, President Trump seemed to still be holding a grudge against the Democrats for their lack of applause during the State of the Union.
They were like death and un-American. Un-American. Somebody said treasonous. I mean, yeah, I guess why not? You know.
Even before taking off, President Trump bashed Schiff, tweeting, "Little Adam Schiff, who is desperate to run for higher office, is one of the biggest liars and leakers in Washington." Schiff fired back, tweeting, "Instead of tweeting false smears, the American people would appreciate if you turned off the TV and helped solve the funding crisis, protected dreamers, or really anything else." President Trump now has 5 days to decide if he wants the Democrats' memo to go public. Earlier, a White House spokesperson said the president won't commit to releasing the counter memo until it's been reviewed. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
Well, this is one of those stories that will make you think twice before donating to someone's fundraiser. A mother and father of a Florida teenager have been charged with fraud and child abuse. Okaloosa County Sheriff's deputies say the couple convinced their son that he had terminal brain cancer. They then used that lie to raise money, claiming it was for medical and funeral expenses. The mother told the boy he had 7 brain tumors, then set up a T-shirt fundraiser at the teen's middle school. Investigators also found a GoFundMe page which raised nearly $1,000.
There is no jail, no prison system in our society that will do to them what they would have endured if their son truly did have brain cancer.
A school resource officer was the one to report the victim was possibly being exploited for financial gain. Miami police responding to a call of a hostage situation at a restaurant today, but the scene is now clear. The department said on Twitter hours after the standoff began that the building was clear and nobody was inside or in harm's way. Police say a woman told them management was holding between 10 and 12 people against their will after a cell phone was reportedly stolen. Miami police say they have detained the woman for questioning and believe her claims were false. At least 2 others were taken into custody as well. Stay with us. Sports is coming up next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, we recap the Super Bowl.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
It's
It's Greek time! February 8th through the 11th at the 34th Annual St. Barbara Greek Festival. Bring your family and friends. Treat yourself to authentic Greek home cooking and pastries. Plus, dance to traditional Greek music. Visit a marketplace filled with crafts and jewelry from local artisans. Children will enjoy the kids zone and everyone will have a good time. Bring your appetites and spend a day in Greece without leaving the area. The Greek Festival at St. Barbara Greek Orthodox Church just north of University Parkway, where Lockwood and Talevast roads meet. Yasu!
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk.
This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
I'm Alan Cohn. Christian support for Trump. The president could do no wrong in the eyes of many, but not all Christians. Some are calling it a mulligan. Are you?
Tomorrow on ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Now, sports.
The city of Philadelphia will host a parade on Thursday for their Super Bowl champions, and it's such a big event in the city's history, even schools will be shut down for the day. The Eagles landing back home this afternoon in Philly. Overjoyed fans greeted the team's plane at Philadelphia International Airport, cheering wildly and singing, of course, Fly, Eagles, Fly. Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie, coach Doug Peterson, and stars like tight end Zach Ertz and running back LeGarrette Blount approached the chain link fence, separating the team from the fans, smiling, pumping their arms, and of course, hoisting that Lombardi trophy. The underdog Eagles beat the New England Patriots 41-33 last night in one of the most exciting Super Bowls to date. And less than 24 hours after winning the Super Bowl and collecting the MVP award, Eagles quarterback Nick Foles went to Disney World. Foles paraded through the Orlando theme park this afternoon atop a float. Before leaving Minnesota this morning, he talked about what it took for Philly to beat the Patriots.
It's a reflection on, the execution on the field and playing for one another, just like we have been all year. And, so in that, it wasn't necessarily me, it was everyone around me that did an amazing job. And, the outcome was, we were successful and now we're world champions.
It's barely been 24 hours since the New England Patriots lost their Super Bowl, and unfortunately, they've already lost their defensive coordinator. The Detroit Lions naming Matt Patricia, formerly of the Patriots, as their new head coach. Lions general manager Bob Quinn made that move today. The two worked together in New England for more than a decade. Patricia worked as the defensive coordinator for 6 seasons. And the Tampa Bay Lightning still on a road trip out west, taking on Edmonton tonight. Edmonton takes an early lead, and Connor McDavid getting the first goal in less than 2 minutes into the first period. Alex Killeran responds in the first, tying the game at 1. But the Oilers will not let the game stay tied for long, taking the lead before the end of the period. The Lightning had some trouble catching up, and the Oilers got 2 more goals in the second, bringing the score to 4-1. Right now, there are 9 minutes left in the game, and the Oilers are holding onto their lead 5-2. Larry Nassar, the now disgraced doctor who worked at both USA Gymnastics and Michigan State University, was sentenced in his 3rd trial today to 40 to 125 years in prison. Omar Jimenez has the latest on Nassar's in-court apology and how the fallout from this case will continue at MSU, USA Gymnastics, and the U.S. Olympic Committee.
I am not convinced that you truly understand that what you did was wrong.
40 to 125 years in prison for Larry Nassar. It's the third sentence for the former USA Gymnastics and Michigan State University doctor who sexually abused young girls for more than 2 decades. He's expected to spend the rest of his life in prison.
The words expressed by everyone that has spoken, including the parents, have impacted me to my innermost core.
For some parents, the promise of a lengthy jail sentence wasn't enough.
Well, I'm going to have to get something.
This father has 3 daughters, all of them abused by Nassar. And that outburst came after more than 150 women spoke out over the course of weeks.
Almost each and every time I received treatment from Larry, from that moment on, he would molest me. We are here, we have our voices, and we are not going anywhere.
But as Nassar goes away, the fallout continues. Michigan State University and USA Gymnastics have been forced to change leadership. Multiple investigations are expected, with Michigan State University being targeted by both the state attorney general and the NCAA. The U.S. Olympic Committee also calling for an investigation by an independent third party to find out how, quote, abuse of this proportion could have gone undetected for so long. All have denied they helped cover up the abuse. I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
Well, that's a look at sports tonight. We'll have your winning lotto numbers when we come back.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been arrested in the state of Florida, the state attorney's office is already working on your prosecution. It's time to work on your defense. So give us a call. We've got your back.
My California Closets designer is a rock star. She was able to design the most beautiful space for me. When I turn the lights on, it's breathtaking. La! It's just a little slice of organized heaven. The California Closet team was so professional, so reliable. It was seriously a dream come true. My name is Jill, and this is my California Closet story.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
I'll be right back.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking an experienced broadcast engineer to provide technical support for all broadcast equipment. TV broadcast background required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job-of-the-day to apply. Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Archaeologists in Egypt say they have discovered a 4,400-year-old tombstone near the pyramids. Egypt's Antiquities Ministry announced the discovery and said the tomb likely belonged to a high-ranking official known as Hetpet during the 5th dynasty of ancient Egypt. The tomb includes wall paintings depicting Hetpet observing different hunting and fishing scenes. The scenes also depict a monkey, at the time commonly kept as domestic animals, reaping fruit and another dancing before an orchestra. So there is a fun fact for you, Bob.
Yeah, you know, they're using those pictures to describe things and communicate, and that's what we're starting to do now. It's gone all the way to reverse down our phones using, all
emojis.
Those emojis. Yes, kind of interesting there. Looks good tomorrow, just a chance for some patchy fog.
All right, thank you so much, Bob, and thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a good night.